make it a brighter place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let's...
Hi, this is Mary from Mary's Stamping Happenings, and today is Tips and Techniques Tuesday. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some triple layer stamping and some emboss resisting. We're going to be doing three types of techniques, or three techniques, at least the card front, and then on There's a Card Thursday we'll be putting the cards together. The first one we're going to do, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using Stampin' Up! Swallowtail. We're going to be using 3 squares of cardstock, one at 4 inches, one at 3 inches, and one 2-inch square. And our back is going to be 4 1/8, 3 1/8, 2 1/8. We're going to be using Pumpkin Pie Classic Ink, Marina Mist Classic Ink, Island Indigo Classic Ink, and Pacific Point Classic Ink. We're also going to be using some Versamark, some sponge daubers, some glue dots, and a 2-way glue pen. And we're also going to be needing your heat tool, the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take the 2-way glue pen, and you remember, if it's wet and blue, it sticks like glue. If it's clear, it'll only stay near. And what you want it to do is you want it to be repositionable and removable. So you want those two to dry, and you're just going to put those on the back. And while those are drying, what I'm going to do is tell you some of the other ones, some of the other stuff we're going to be making. Another one we're going to be using is we're going to be using the Hello Doily set. And instead of the basic black, we're going to be using So Saffron. And we're going to be using Pool Party Classic ink. Oh, you're also going to be needing Clear Embossing Powder for the Swallowtail and White Embossing Powder for the Hello Doily. And then another one we're going to be doing without embossing is we're going to be using delicate doilies, and we're going to be using Tempting Turquoise, and we're going to be using Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, and Tempting Turquoise Classic ink. Okay, I think those are just about done. They don't look. So what we're going to do is we're going to line these up and center these inside of each other. So that's a 4-inch one, so we come up 2 and 2, and we're going to place that one there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to place it in the center. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Versamark and we're going to ink up our Swallowtail, first with Versamark. Remember to use the Versamark first. A good tip why we are using Versamark, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting pumpkin pie on this. So you can emboss with your classic inks, and this is how you do it. You use your Versamark first. You can have any embossing powder. Clear embossing powder works the best, but you can have all the colors of embossing powder, and that gets a little expensive. And we don't have all 48 colors. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Versamark. So we use Versamark first, and then over the Versamark, you're going to be laying the pumpkin pie. And get it on there really good because this is going to be your color. Okay? Make sure it's all over. The more the better on this one because it's really hard to see. Okay, so we inked up the Swallowtail with Versamark first and then with pumpkin pie. Again, we are laying this in the middle. And if you want to, you can line it up. I've got this centered, and I'm just going to line it up in the center. And it really doesn't matter. But then we're going to, I have to stand up to put even pressure on the Swallowtail since it's such a big stamp. So there we go, the Swallowtail. We'll get our Clear Embossing Powder. And again, I keep the Clear Embossing Powder in a little Ziploc boxy sandwich box. And we're going to put embossing powder, clear embossing powder, all over the Swallowtail. You want that pumpkin pie to shine through. Make sure you take it off. The excess, just tap it off. Cover your embossing powder. And then you're going to take your heat gun and you're going to emboss. We have it embossed. And now what you're going to do is you're going to do the resistance stamping. And so you're going to start, I usually start with the darkest, and to me that's the Pacific Point. And I'm just going to ink that all up. If you notice, I don't have a cameraman today. It is spring break and Megan wants to sleep, so we don't have a cameraman. So I've put the Pacific Point on. I'm going to put Island Indigo, which I believe is the next one. That's the darkest. And you can do any colors you want. I just like the blue with the pumpkin pie. And then the last one I'm going to do is Marina Mist. A light clean rag, and you're just going to wipe it off of the embossing. And that's emboss resistance. Triple stamping, emboss resistance. Now you're going to match them up with your, so I've got the 2-inch white and the 2 1/8 inch square from the basic black. And I'm going to put those together right there. You notice there was a space when you stamped it. That space will go away because we're putting the backing. Now we're going to mount these together. So 4 on the back of the blacks, and just line those up. Now I had some trouble with not knowing where they line, especially these two, so I like having the little antenna there so I know which way is up, and I keep that one up. But sometimes you get them upside down. And then you just take a little tip when you're using glue dots and you want to take your heat gun and just put a little bit of heat on that, and those glue dots will pop right out. So line those antennae up, and there you got your Swallowtail. Now this you can use on a card, as a card front, a background, whatever. And we'll show you how to do that in There's a Card Thursday. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to do Hello Doily. And again, what you're going to do is you're going to ink it up with Versamark at first. Make sure you get it all over, especially the center. I'm going to leave the Versamark because I'm going to do Whipser White. Doilies are always white, so I'm taking just my Versamark, centering it again. It's so much harder, and I hate using the Stamp-A-Majig, but if you want to center it, you may want to use the Stamp-A-Majig. So I'm taking the Versamark, and again, I'm standing up since it's a big one. And I'm taking my white embossing powder, and I'm going to put embossing powder all over this one. And we're going to take the heat gun and heat that all up. And there we have it. Now you can hardly see that, but just wait. We're going to take our pool party and our sponge dauber, we're only using one color this time. See how it comes out? Isn't that beautiful? Use Clear Embossing Powder also, since it's on white, Whipser White cardstock, but I wanted it to pop a little, and you'll see here why. Just a second. Then you're going to take your piece of Kleenex, toilet paper, or whatnot, and you're going to just rub that over. Look at how that pops out with that Whipser White embossing powder. There you go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it on So Saffron. Attach these. And line this up. Oh, yeah, just line it up just like that. There you have yours for the Hello Doily. Next, we're going to do one without using any embossing or without emboss resistance. We're going to take our delicate doily set, and I have offset this. If you can see, I put them all in the corner. You don't need to have them centered. They can be off-centered. And I'm just going to stamp there. Now I'm going to put these on, if I can hold it. I'm going to put these on Tempting Turquoise. There you have it. And that can go right on your card front too. That's Tips and Techniques Tuesday, doing the triple stamping using emboss resistance and non-emboss resistance. Happy stamping!